and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the GFreak Speaks podcast, episode number 32. If you guys want to sponsor the podcast, let me know. Jump in the DMs, slide in there because we've got absolutely no one. But we will one day. One day we'll get there. I just wanted to let you guys know as well that the podcast can be found on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play, everywhere else that you listen to, you like to listen to. Make sure to leave it a rating as well. Thumbs up. Comments in the section if you have any other questions and who you want to have on next week. But we are joined today by BRITTANY. Qaekz. How you doing, buddy?
Hello.
Qaekz with a Q. Qaekz with a Q, okay? Qaekz. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. What's the name
got
change?
It a little bit switched around.
Did I?
Close
Oh,
enough.
no. I chalked it. How is
so,
it?
At least.
How is it usually?
Pardon?
How is it spelled? Qaekz or S?
EKZ.
Okay. I chalked that. But how you doing, buddy?
You know what? It can be spelled however you want. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you doing?
That's good. I'm good. I've just butchered that, but that's okay. Everything stays here raw. It's just raw. So.
Oh no.
We've dug ourselves a bit of a hole. Not as bad as one week. I actually introduced someone as John instead of Josh, so that was pretty funny.
Oh no.
I kept that in there because we keep everything in this podcast. Nothing gets cut except for toilet breaks. We cut those.
That is good to know.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely. But don't do it because for the editing team, it's a pain in the ass. That's me.
Okay, excellent. No toilet breaks.
No toilet breaks. Just hang on. But, buddy, what's been happening? It's been a long time since we've had a chat. I don't think we've had a chat like this before.
No.
You know what's been going on in the gaming community and the scene for yourself? Keep me up to date.
For myself, I've not been playing very much Call of Duty, which is my usual streaming game. I played a little bit last night, and it's changed in the months that I haven't played it. It's changed a lot, in good ways though. I'm enjoying it, but I've mostly just been playing Minecraft and Sims 4, which is very different to COD. Very different vibe, but no, I've been thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah, that's good. I think that with Call of Duty right now, man, it's chalked. It's just. Like I've got tournaments coming up, and I just really see you practicing for them. Like Apex is like the vibe. I think you've played Apex before, haven't you? Yeah.
Yes, I played a little bit of it.
How do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy it or no?
I really enjoyed it. I didn't expect to. I'm very much stick to what I know. Hence, I've been playing COD since I was 9 and not switched to any other game. So Kanga, the esports team I'm with, they signed me up for a tournament for Apex. And I was like, well, I guess I better download Apex then. Yep. And didn't expect to enjoy it at all. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. For a little bit there, I was playing a lot more of it off stream than I was playing COD off stream. But then it started frustrating me because I'm not very good at it. And I stopped playing it for a bit.
Yeah, it's quite hard. But I can imagine Hage would have just sent you in there for one of those Apex Arena tournaments and said, push you off the edge, get in there. Get him oxygen.
Exactly right.
Love that. But for people listening and watching on YouTube, that's how Britt and myself actually met through Kanga Esports when I was with Kanga. You're still currently with Kanga?
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. So you contracted till the end of the year or next year or something, or?
You know what? That's a great question. I just keep signing and sending it off.
Fair enough. Sign and return. Sign here, return.
I love them so much. I'm just like, yep, I'm here. Don't worry.
It's a great team to be part of. It really is a great team, and the management there is fantastic. You know, you got Hayes and Brad, great blokes, leaders in the industry. But look, man, back to Call of Duty. What was your favorite Call of Duty growing up?
Ghost was my favorite because it was, despite everyone else absolutely hating it. It was the first Call of Duty where I had a headset.
Okay.
So prior to that, I'd never been able to do in-game chat or anything like that. And so, yeah, it was my first game having a headset, and I became a part of a clan and made some friends. And I ended up making a friend who lived up in Queensland while I lived in Canberra. And I went on a cruise up to Queensland to visit my grandparents and ended up meeting up with one of the people in the clan as well. So it was really, really nice. So I'm not entirely sure whether I enjoy Ghosts as a game or just because I had friends on there.
Yeah. Who knows? I think that you probably enjoyed both of it, really. You know, you just can just kick back, do your thing, move your thumbs around, and then talk to that person that you got along with really well, which is pretty cool.
Exactly right. Yeah, and it was when I first got into quickscoping as well, and I started making montages on YouTube.
Have a look at you, hey?
Oh, those have all been deleted though.
Oh, have they?
They were very embarrassing. Yeah, because a lot of the time where I lived in a country town, so the internet was terrible. So a lot of the time I had to just play versing bots. So a lot of the clips are me versing bots, which I had the difficulty high, but you can't tell in a montage. So I got embarrassed because people kept calling me out on it and being like, "You're versing bots. You suck."
You know what would have happened? Because you're in a small country town, every time like the internet's slow for the whole town, they're like, "Fucking Brit's uploading again. She's got another hit coming in."
Yep.
Love that. Was the YouTube channel popping off? How long ago was that?
So I was in high school at the time. Oh gosh, I would have been. When did Ghost come out?
2013 or 12.
Okay, yeah. So I would have been in late high school.
Yep.
It wasn't popping off very much.
Yeah.
But I didn't post very frequently and had no idea how social media worked whatsoever. So yeah, bit unfortunate, but I tried to make it very much like Pomage, like Optic Pomage or Phase. Is he Phase now?
He's Phase now. He kept going backwards and forwards, but he's back to Phase again. Yeah.
Yeah. So him and Scumpy were my idols. So I tried to make it very much like their clips. But...
Love that. I'll get back to that question in a second about who you go for the most, about with Optic or Phase or anyone else outside of those two. But as a girl growing up, when you first got your headset for Call of Duty Ghosts, how did you find getting along with people in the game chat?
I didn't find it too bad, to be completely honest. Like you'd get the occasional like, "Oh, it's a girl," but back then it was like, I don't know. Back then I felt like people were more like excited that there was a girl on there. Like every now and then you'd get the whole "get back to the kitchen, make me a sandwich," which was always very entertaining. But yeah, no, I found it quite good. Made a lot of friends on there, and my friends, if there was any toxicity, they'd usually stick up for me, and I'd just be sitting there like, "Thank you."
Oh, shit, just gonna fucking hit him.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god. Yeah. But yeah, no, nowadays I find it's a lot more toxic than before, but I very rarely use in-game chat. So I'm just going off what I've seen on other people's channels, so that could be very much regional as well. Yeah,
there's some serious heat that gets thrown in some people's directions, that's for sure. I think it doesn't even matter what you are nowadays. They just throw heat. There's just heat.
100%. It's just like whatever you are just fuels what heat it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Moe and Manny and Muhammad, bro. Get the fuck off the mic, bro. You know, you just got those lads in the ears and whatnot. I do miss those days, to be honest with you. Like, just the shit talk. For me, myself, like, I would always talk shit in S&D.
Yeah, that's fair.
It would be S&D shit talk, and then you let the gameplay do the talking, and then you get into them a bit more in the pre-games, like between rounds and whatever, because you have that quick like 10 seconds to get you, and then it cuts.
Yeah. See, I play with a lot of people like that. Like my partner does that. Him and his mates, when we're all playing S&D, I'm extremely anxious. So even them like just having fun, having a laugh, and winding other people up, my heart is pounding. I hate conflict whatsoever. So I'm there like, guys, stop, please. Yeah.
No, it's fair enough. That's fair enough. But it was good fun. I've seen some TikToks with the kids like, you know, they say, "Oh, fuck you up," and all that. And then there's another kid like saying, "I'm better than you, I'm better than you." And then there's another kid just there like, just screaming and whatnot. I'm just like, yeah, I remember that. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's so good.
Absolutely, man. I'm surprised that you said COD Ghost, because it did cop a lot of flack.
It did.
For the campaign, I think, a little bit, but mainly the multiplayer, the way it worked. And it was a very heavy SMG meta in the competitive scene. I don't know if you watched a lot of competitive Call of Duty for Ghosts.
Not really.
Back in the day. It was very SMG heavy, and just a lot of mechanics were broken and whatnot. And yeah, a lot of the lads didn't like it when they were playing it. And same as the game modes with Blitz, which is the one where you run. And it's like a domination flag, but you run through it and teleports you back to your base. And that's one point. Do you remember that?
Oh gosh, I don't remember that. I mostly just played free for all.
Okay.
All the time.
Yeah.
Free for all, and then if I was with my clan, we'd just be playing just like team deathmatch.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. We were pretty basic.
The best to watch for free for all, who inspired me a lot, was like Ali A. Do you ever watch him?
Okay. No, I didn't.
He was so good. What's going on, guys? Ali A here in the free for all video. He was always,
my gosh.
always doing that. I used to love him, but now he's into Fortnite, and yeah, Alice is kicking it off over there anyway. But yeah, there were so many legends like 402 Thunder. You hear about him?
No.
He'd always take the piss out of the game. Like he was funny.
Oh, really?
He's still around.
Nice.
Yeah, he's still around doing his thing. I don't know what he does nowadays though. For content, because the game's just it's kind of like it's hard. You can't find a multiplayer game that's good for Call of Duty.
Yeah.
That brings the attention to Modern Warfare 2. Are you keen for that?
I'm very excited. Yes. So since Modern Warfare came out, I haven't really been excited for any of the others like Cold War and Vanguard. Neither of those. I made the mistake of buying Cold War. I wouldn't say made the mistake. I have enjoyed a couple games on it, but went straight back to Warzone. But now that we've got Modern Warfare 2 coming out, I'm very excited for that. I have high hopes for it.
Have you seen all the trailers and the gameplay footage?
No, I'm one of those people that even if like a movie that I am looking forward to is coming out, or a game that I'm looking forward to, I don't like watching the trailers.
Okay.
Because I get too excited.
Yeah.
It's like the Hogwarts Legacy game. I am way too excited for that. So I have avoided watching like anything on it.
That's fair enough. Is that purely because of spoilers, or that you just get too hyped up?
I get too hyped up. Again, very anxious person.
Yeah, right.
Like just like super anxious about it. Like I'm not fussed about spoilers for anything. Like for movies, if someone tells me like, oh, this person dies, I'm like, cool. Like I'm not fussed that you spoiled that for me, because now I'm not going to be sitting there anxious wondering whether they do die or not.
Yep, that's fair enough. Look, me personally, I never watch. The only thing I don't watch is Marvel trailers ever, because it just gives you way too much, I think, personally. If there's a comedy show, I'll probably not watch it. I'll watch a little bit of it, and I'm like, nah, that's it, because they always show the best clips in the trailer to try and bring you in.
Gotcha.
In comedies, but yeah, with Marvel, it's strict no watch policy. My fiance and I, we've both agreed, nah, never watch it. And if we get there in the cinemas, because we always try to like get there 20 minutes late, because there's always 20 minutes of commercials.
Of course.
20 minutes of commercials. We always like la la la, or we just get our phone out and we just start playing on that. I'm like, just try to not to see it or hear it, which is annoying, because I saw a little bit of the Thor trailer and it looked really good, and I'm like, damn, look away, because we saw Jurassic
That's the
Park.
worst part.
Have you seen it?
No, not yet.
It's all right.
Not yet.
It's not the best. I was expecting some better dinosaur type of stuff. It was you could guess what was going to happen.
Okay.
But I've got to see Top Gun. Surely you've seen Top Gun.
I have.
Yeah,
I have.
Was it good?
So good. We're actually going to go watch it again on Sunday.
Bullshit. Again.
we loved it so much. And like I enjoyed the first one, but not to the extent where I was like, oh, Top Gun, one of my favorite movies, like really great movie, you have to watch it. I was just like, oh yeah, Top Gun.
Yep.
Second one. Oh, amazing.
Hang on. What was so amazing about it? Was it the planes, or was it the dancing shirtless scene? Britt, what was it? The tan, oiled up guy.
Of course, the planes.
Okay, good answer.
No, it was all really great, because with the first one as well, the footage of all the plane stuff is phenomenal for its time. Like, and even now watching it, it's like, how is this possible that this movie was made bloody ages ago?
Yep.
So yeah, they've continued that high quality plane footage, and just the storyline in general as well. It's really, really fun to follow.
Okay, yeah, cool. I'm keen.
Yeah.
I just finished watching the other one the other day.
Nice.
This week just gone, and I quite enjoyed it. For people out there that haven't seen it, it's pretty much to sum it up in a few words in a paragraph. Tom Cruise, aka Maverick, is one of the best pilots. Gets selected for the Top Gun program. Goes out there, his best friend dies, Goose, and then he comes back with PTSD, and then he gets convinced to go back again, and then takes out and blitzes the day. It's a real hero story. So There we go. Save yourself an hour and a half there. Right there.
Though in the first one, he's such a wank.
I know, he is. It's so like, you could do it, or I'm the best, you know?
Yeah, and just like the following into the bathroom scene, just so creepy.
Wouldn't pick you up? Wouldn't pick you up, Britt? Wouldn't get you?
Oh no! Thankfully, in the second movie, the creepiness is gone. There's no.
It's different director, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I think so. Yeah, a different person that might be the narrator. Have changed up, so I don't think that shit's in there anymore. I think that back in those days it was more appropriate as well.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's like, oh, what the hell? What's going on there? Exactly.
Exactly right.
Exactly. But we're going to segue back to what I was talking about before with Optic or FaZe. Is there any esport team out there that you support real closely or have merchandise of out there?
Kanga.
Kanga first.
Obvious.
Yep.
Obviously, Kanga.
Apart from Kanga.
I do follow a few of the FaZe players.
Yep.
But mostly just because I've seen a lot more of them on my feed and heard a lot more of them in the community. So that's probably all I can give you on that part. Yeah.
So just FaZe clan, FaZe up, baby.
Yep.
One of those ones.
Oh yeah, there we go.
There it is, right there. FaZe up. The thumb touching the middle finger and the index finger pointing out. Yep.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's. Oh no, it's that. Oh, one of those is.
It's this.
No. For American Sign Language, F. I think it's that as well.
Really? It's FaZe clan.
Or that. I can't remember.
F.
Anyway, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's very smart of you to be actually able to do that. Can you speak sign language?
I know Australian Sign Language and the American Sign Language alphabet.
Australian Sign Language. How is there a difference, Britt? Please explain.
Huge difference. Yeah, there's
mate.
British Sign Language, British Sign Language, Australian, and American. Despite all speaking English, have different sign languages, which is frustrating. British and American are probably closer than Australian in some aspects, but yeah.
Why? What's the difference? Is it like the lettering's different or the way you say?
To make it even worse, it's regional in Australia as well. There are a lot of words that are a specific sign in one region versus a different one in another.
Oh, God.
So, like, I initially learnt in Canberra that was bitch. But then I learnt later that that's bitch. Like, or bitchy, venomous. That's venomous, bitchy.
Venomous, bitchy. Oh, my God. Okay. We'll have to learn those ones out the window, out the car.
Yep.
How did you learn that type of stuff? Did you work with as aides for people?
No, I had a very good friend growing up who was completely deaf.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, fantastic then. Wow.
Yeah.
That's, I never knew that. I just learned that. Different sign languages. Oh my God. Imagine like Japanese, bro. Like how fast they talk and their character letters. Oh my God. I couldn't do it. Or is it similar?
Well, no, sign language is quite easy. So I've been learning Arabic as well. And so spoken language versus physical language is so different to learn.
Yep.
I learnt sign language within a month and was like able to hold strong conversations in sign language. When I was properly, consistently learning Arabic, it took me probably like 6 months to be able to get some basic conversations going.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's impressive. So technically, you're bilingual.
No. I guess with sign language, yes.
Give it to yourself. Yeah.
True.
You speak English. Are you actually bilingual in language as well? Fluent language?
No, unfortunately not. I really, really want to get back into learning Arabic. But my Arabic teacher, she moved to Dubai. So we used to catch up for coffee and go through lessons.
What are one of these?
Hey? How dare her?
Yep.
No, she got a job over in Dubai. So she left, which I thought I would still continue learning it because I'd learnt a decent chunk of it. Like I'm familiar with the alphabet still. And thankfully, Duolingo has now got Arabic on there. For a while, they didn't have Arabic.
Okay.
which was interesting because it is a very commonly spoken language.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I thought you were going to say Dua Lipa. I'm like, oh, what's she doing over there, bro?
Yeah. Maybe.
But Britt, how did you get into gaming? Where did it all begin for you, buddy?
So
you were saying
my
you
dad,
were 9, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and being an older sibling too, I didn't really have like older siblings to teach me gaming, but my dad was quite into gaming. So I first started playing flight simulators with him when I was very, very, very young.
Okay.
And then moved into like Time Splitters 2. That was like one of my absolute favorites. That was freaking awesome. GTA. Which was definitely too young to be playing it, but yeah, that was one of the first ones.
Yeah.
And I started playing COD when Finest Hour came out. And,
yes.
So it was probably more influence from my brother actually that got me into COD, my younger brother, but my dad got me into gaming initially. And yeah, then my brother and we would spend every hour that we could, that mum and dad would let us stay inside, eating mee goreng noodles and drinking coffee and playing COD. We started drinking coffee very young too. Yeah, all these very bad influences.
Yeah. Did you start punching on in the morning too when you were ready? Just punch in your time, clock in, clock out. Yep.
Yep, clock in. Yeah, exactly right. Okay. Yep. Yeah. So I remember we were either out riding our bikes or playing COD.
Oh, fantastic. And so now it brings us to present day when did you start streaming? Was that when like I kind of met you through Kanga, or was it prior to that?
It was prior to that. I started streaming February 2020. So I went over to Vegas for a work trip and met a bunch of people over there. And we ended up playing like a VR shooting game with the headsets and everything. We're all in this big room. And a lot of them are ex-military. So they were like, oh, we've got this shooting game sort of thing. And they also streamed. I ended up winning a couple rounds and they were like, what the hell? Like, do you play video games? I was like, oh, I used to play COD, but when I went to uni, I stopped playing for quite a while and became really crappy. So I didn't think I'd still have it in me. But yeah, they ended up being like, you should stream. Like, you should definitely start streaming. And I had never heard of streaming because I was always a watch montages on YouTube sort of person. I didn't know that live streaming was a thing. So yeah, I got back from Vegas, ordered myself a gaming laptop and started streaming off of that.
There we go. And nowadays, are you streaming still from the same laptop or you got a PC?
No, I recently, maybe like 6 months ago, bought a secondhand PC because the laptop, despite being really great, like the laptop went amazingly. It was a pain not having 2 monitors. And when I did plug in another monitor, the graphics card was struggling a little bit too much.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. So at the moment, are you using like an Elgato from a console to the PC as well? Or are you gaming from the PC on 2 monitors and streaming as well?
Gaming from the PC, yeah. Okay. So when I switched from, when I started streaming, I switched away from PlayStation. Okay.
It's always a sad moment. Pulls at the heartstrings. I remember when I changed from PlayStation to PC, and I was like, ugh. But it's so much better, isn't it?
It is, but I held on for a while by connecting my PlayStation controller, one that I have right here actually as decoration now, connecting that to my PC, and that's how I played COD for ages. But then I started playing Tarkov, and you can't use controller with Tarkov.
No.
So then that's when I had to start using keyboard and mouse. And I feel like I still haven't really got as good as I was on controller on keyboard and mouse, but I can't switch back now because when I switch back, I'm really bad.
One day maybe. I'm still on controller, but when I play Tarkov, like you, I am on keyboard and mouse. I'm actually pretty decent, but yeah, nice. It's such a great game. Like, it's so good, but the issue that happened for me and my buddy Postal is that we joined and it wasn't like a fresh reset. So when we're shooting people and engaging, bullets are just tinging off their metal helmets and stuff. And then they shoot us and we just get shit on. Yeah. So we've got lower gear and whatnot, and I'm sure you're very familiar with how that works. But are you still playing Tarkov now?
Not very much now. So I played it mostly on when I had my laptop as my streaming rig. And unfortunately, after one of the updates on Tarkov, my computer just couldn't, or my laptop just couldn't handle it anymore. So with stream, so yeah, I ended up stopping playing it. It was also extremely difficult to get the hang of. Like even when I felt like I was going all right, I just wasn't understanding the majority of what I was doing.
Yeah. Okay, well that's fair enough. I think that looking at it from a business point of view, I don't see many females in Tarkov. So I would encourage you to jump back on that horse if you are looking
I have actually written that down because I put up an Instagram story asking what games people wanted to see, and a few said Tarkov. So I was like,
yeah, I would encourage you to do that. Sims is very girly. And there's girls there. And what was the other game you were playing? Minecraft. Minecraft is fairly saturated as well. You play what you want, but for me personally, I think that having a chick that would play Tarkov might be a really good thing for you, even if you aren't good. It doesn't
even if I'm not good. See, that's what I struggle with. See, I don't like doing things if I'm not good at them, which is fine until don't pick something up immediately, and then I'm like, this is ridiculous. I can't learn this. So I will give it a try again, though. I'll have to download
You've got my vote there. You've got my vote. If people listening right now and watching on YouTube, put it in the comment section below. Do you reckon Britt should pick up Tarkov again? Maybe we can jam, bro. Maybe we can jam like we did on Warzone.
That was good.
And then I think I took you through your first Warzone actual game, not the plunder games. You jumped into the big boys, the big girl stuff. Yeah, love that. You played since or what? You've been jumping back in plunder.
I've gotten into the BR modes a bit more.
Yeah,
I love plunder because you can respawn.
Yeah, well, you
and
like Rebirth.
I do actually like Rebirth. I didn't like it at first because it's so fast paced.
Yeah.
But I got a win on Rebirth a few months ago. I've only had 2 wins on Rebirth. One of them I was pretty much just spectating the whole time.
Yeah.
But the second one I absolutely clutched for my team, and my partner was down the hallway in his room playing, and all I hear is him like yelling. The mic cuts out, and then suddenly he's in my room like,
love that.
It was so funny.
Love that. That's elite. I love that you even still cherish onto them as well. You remember them.
Yeah,
that's solid.
100%.
Solid. What gun did you win it with?
That's a very good question that I cannot answer.
Okay, we'll move on from that one. Right there. Tarkov, that does interest me. You are the first girl that I've met that actually does and has played Tarkov. That is quite interesting. Okay. So if you've got that, you're halfway there, Britt. Halfway there, buddy.
Just gotta get good.
Gotta get good, dude. Well, I wasn't that good to start with. You're still learning. I'm still like, you use the keyboard and mouse, you're looking, you're watching, and then you're like, gotta pick this up. Hang on. And you look down at the keyboard and you're like, where's J? Okay. There it is. Okay, you look up and you're like, fuck, got to respawn.
That's me with COD.
Yeah, with COD right now.
It's so bad. And stream always laughs at me for it because I'll be like mid-fight and I'm like, and they're like, stop looking at the keyboard. Look at the screen. I'm like, I don't know where my hands are.
You've
I keep throwing thermites. I keep throwing thermites while I'm in a car.
Yep. Oh, mate, that'll just chalk your quads and your upper body in there.
So annoying.
It's no good. No. I want to jump into. I previously discussed it with you. But you were for people that don't know, you were a Miss Universe as well, or Miss Australia.
Competed in Miss World Australia.
Yes, fantastic. Yeah, so what's that?
I didn't win it, but
I competed. But you competed. Okay, you competed in it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, calm down.
Yeah, calm down, guys. It's okay.
Calm down, guys. But what does that mean? So when you see that and you apply for it, how does that all work? Is there a white list for it, short list? How does that work?
So how it came about, I was scrolling through Instagram and an ad came up for it. And like, I have always looked at pageants as like, ew, no way.
Yep.
That bitchy crap. Like I've never, nah. Anyway, ad came up, I scrolled past it and was like, whatever, scroll past. And then it came up again a couple weeks later and I clicked into it, just to see what it was. And for that particular pageant, it had an age limit of, I think, like 25.
Yep.
And I was 24 at the time. So I was like, oh, like this would be my last year to do it if I wanted to. And then brushed it off and kept scrolling and doing whatever. And then I noticed a couple days later that I was still thinking about it. So I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just apply. Like, I'm not going to get in anyway. And it ended up, I got a message back saying like, hey, you've been accepted for the preliminary thingamajiggities. And so I went up to Sydney and did the I can't speak, you know, you guys know what I mean.
Prelim, mate.
The prelim, thank you, that's better. Yep. Went up to Sydney and did that, and it involved you had to have a black cocktail dress and a formal gown, and then they put you in particular outfits from sponsors as well. So Maya had sponsored it, so we had to do a runway show in the middle of this shopping centre. I thought this was going to be like a private thing. No. People just trying to enjoy their Hungry Jacks. Yeah. Watching us walk down this runway. Exactly right. And there were a bunch of like celebrity judges, and it was really cool. It was a great experience. And the people I met, they were so beautiful and so kind. There wasn't that bitchiness that I expected from it. Apparently later on in the competition, there was a lot more of the sort of competitive vibes. But at the start, it was very much like you'd be going on stage and the girls backstage are like, yes, like, let's go. And then you sort of had to get up and talk about yourself, like say who you are, what you do, blah, blah, blah. And at the time, I was an electronics engineer. So being in this formal gown, like, hi, my name's Brittany and I'm an electronics engineer. They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So, sorry, am I allowed to swear on here?
Yeah, you are.
Okay, cool.
Go for it. It's not in the first 30 seconds of the podcast, but we're 31 minutes in, so that's long behind us.
Excellent. Perfect. Whoopsies.
Go for it. The only reason I don't do it in the first 30 seconds is because that's when YouTube scans through your videos and for swear words. So if you say, what's going on, guys? How the fuck you hanging?
Like
it'll just pop you down. Yeah. So if you introduce it, because I used to say this podcast is bought by absolutely fucking nobody, but now I don't.
Oh, yeah, smart.
Because of that little part. So now I don't.
Yeah. Oh, excellent.
That's
good to know.
Yeah. Just don't do the C-bomb. Okay. I'm sure you won't.
Yeah. Nah. Not today. But yeah, it was a very interesting experience, and people were really lovely. But so I got through the first round, and there were 6 of us, 6 or 10, and then it was going to be narrowed down to 6. Yeah, there were 10 of us chosen that won that part of it, and then it was going to be narrowed down to 6 for New South Wales. And the second part of it, I would have had to fly up to Sydney again, cover the cost of that, cover the cost of accommodation. I needed 3 new ball gowns. Thankfully, I did my own hair and makeup, so that covered cost of that. But if I was doing, like, if I had to go get that done, that would have been an extra $300 on top of that. So I ended up dropping out. It cost a lot. I think
to fly to Sydney, accommodation would have cost over $1,000 plus 3 dresses.
In itself.
Yeah,
and it was it had to be for like 2 nights as well, and you also had to pay a fee to enter. Because it was a lot, I can't speak again. A large majority of it was for charity. So I got to do a lot of charity work within that as well for Variety Children's Foundation, and that was fantastic. But yeah, I ended up dropping out for the second round because I just couldn't afford it. I was not in the position to be doing that. But it was a really great experience. It boosted my confidence a lot, that's for sure.
Oh, that's good. It was quite character building from what I've observed from the story that you've told me. But I'm sure the other girls would be like, oh, it's so sad to see you go. And they're like, yes. See you later.
No. Bitch. No, I'm still good friends with a bunch of them. And the girl who won it, oh my gosh, she's the most beautiful person, like personality wise and exterior as well, but she's just so kind and it just puts out all this positive energy. She's the type of person that I sort of looked at and was like, that's the impact I want to make on the people around me, like be very positive, very just kind and I don't even know how to explain it. She's a very beautiful person.
Where does it take you when you win one of these type of things? So for her, so she wins it, and then what?
And then, so that was Miss World Australia. So then they go on to Miss World International, and they compete in that. I don't think she ended up winning Miss World International, but with the Australia one, she does a lot of modelling work for the all the brands that sponsor Miss World, a lot of inspirational talks and stuff like that. And yeah, you become a really big part of the community with raising money for charities and stuff like that as well. It's really great. But it is a lot of work.
Oh well. It seems extremely expensive. Like this weekend, or when you guys listen to this, last weekend I just went to Brisbane for the Chiefs Red Bull party, and that's costing a fair bit of cash just to get there. Just for Friday, Saturday, return on Sunday. It's just like, holy shit, man. But I think that a thing like that, it's really important that you kind of go to it, because it's a very good thing to catch up with people and meet new people and friends, being, the celebrities that Red Bull would invite and whatnot. If you're in the area, if you're in Brisbane, if you want to come next weekend, let me know. You can go. I don't know. Would you go?
Don't tell me that. I would, but I'm in Perth.
Shit. Well, if you want, let me know, and you can come.
I do actually have to go to Brisbane to visit my grandma, though. So
2 in 1. Grandma, I'm coming to you. Okay, no worries. I'll pay for your trip. Okay, sounds good.
No, I wouldn't make her pay for my trip. No way.
Flights are so expensive nowadays. It's actually crazy. They've gone up like $100 per way, I reckon.
On the way back from visiting my grandparents a couple of weeks ago, it cost me $800 to come back. Just the return flight.
Just return?
Yeah.
Shit, mate. Holy shit. Where? To and from?
So they're in the hinterlands in Queensland, so just I think north of Brisbane. My geography is terrible. Yeah, okay. But from Maroochydore Airport to Melbourne, then to Perth.
Oh, mate. Holy shit. That's crazy. That's depressing. But we're going to move on from that shit. Before you were saying that you were I don't know if you still are, but an electrical engineer. That's some sophisticated stuff there, mate. It's like an overqualified Sparky. So how'd you get into that? Yeah. What's going on there?
So the job I was doing itself was engineering, but I wasn't qualified for engineering. So I did an apprenticeship doing electronics and communications through CIT. Yep. And that work then had me helping the design team with designing boards, but mostly looking through a microscope and building boards.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I did really enjoy it, but the reason I did it was to then lead into a business development and marketing job in defense industry.
Yeah, cool. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Defense. We'll talk about that another time, obviously. But because it's classified. Oh shit, people listening right now. Oh shit, they're coming down.
My defense work isn't too classified at the moment, and it's easy to get around that stuff anyway and not mention it. Super classified.
Put some mayo on it, Brie. Come on.
I have to kill you now.
I am most wanted. Exactly. But you also are a musician as well.
Yes.
Guitarist, singer, any other instruments you play? How did you get into that?
Not really. So I started singing when I was about 9 or 10. I did my first performance when I was 11 at a talent show in year 6. That was a lot of fun. But I started singing when I was pretty young. My parents were pretty brutal, which was great. They're not musically inclined whatsoever. But when I started singing and being like, I'm going to enter this talent show, they were like, okay, show us what you got. And I sang to them and they were like, any other songs that you would like to do? And so they ended up helping me choose a song and practice. They taught me to block my ear so that I could hear myself and everything, record myself over and over again. So yeah, it took a lot of practice, which I'm very grateful of my parents not just being like, "You sound pretty, just go on stage." So yeah, lots of practice. The first talent show I did, I was absolutely crapping myself because I was singing in front of the whole school, and like I was not popular whatsoever. So I wasn't expecting any sort of like excitement. I did that, and then just continued doing talent shows through school, and eventually I got to the point where I got a guitar but didn't learn to play it as a kid, and then like 10 years later learned to play it.
There you go.
Yeah, just for backing tracks.
Lessons or self-taught?
Tracks were like different. Pardon?
Lessons or self-taught?
Self-taught. So YouTube. So not really self-taught, but close.
I'd call it self-taught, I reckon. That's pretty good.
Yeah, maybe.
You're not paying someone. I'd give that.
That's true.
I'll give that to yourself. You're not paying someone. You're not having someone saying, no, this is the A string, this is the G string, and this is the D string, and all that type of stuff.
That's true. That is very true.
I give it to you.
Probably would have been better if I did do that, though, because I am terrible with music theory, despite having done music classes as an elective throughout all of high school.
Yep.
I couldn't tell you what letters associate with what strings.
Yep.
Like I know chords. But that's because I went onto Google and went, what are these chords? Okay, you put your fingers like that. Sweet. Muscle memory from now on.
Yep. I can only ever do the power chords with the two fingers, but that's it. But when they started going with 3 fingers, and I'm like, holy sh! And then the thumb grip as well. I'm like, oh my god, this is 4 strings at the same time and changing it. So, like, you really have respect for people like Slash, for example. It's just like, how do they do that? It's incredible.
It's incredible.
Exactly there we go, right. Jinx. Have you ever been to like a rock concert like those guys or anyone else that's a guitarist?
I've been to like Day to Remember and what's it called? Parkway Drive and stuff like that. I very much like metal music. So
yeah, Parkway Drive. One of my Mexican buddies back in high school used to love Parkway Drive and be like, used to scream. I'm like, what are you listening to, bro? I'm like, that's pretty good, man. That's pretty good.
So good. Yeah, I've been trying to teach myself to fry scream. I've kind of got it, but I just don't have the projection, which is very frustrating, but at least I can sing along to the music now in the car by myself when no one is around.
Okay, fair enough. Especially your parents, because they'll let you know about it.
Oh, yeah. I love how they thought it was a phase when I started listening to metal music. Bless their little hearts.
Still going.
Yep.
Mom, how you going? Turn that bloody fucking music down. I can't hear you on the phone.
Yeah, she watches my streams and I play metal music like in the background of stream, and she's just become accustomed to it.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's awesome. How important do you reckon it is, now we're segueing back somewhere different, for women in gaming to be part of it and whatnot?
That's a hard question.
Loaded.
Could you specify like anything in particular, like
just
in
being involved?
Just being involved.
Just being there, Britt, mate. Just being there. Just being there.
I think it's great. I don't think it's something that needs to be forced. If someone wants to play video games, they're going to play it. If you can't sort of deal with the shit talk, as you said before, you get shit talk no matter what you are. If you can't deal with that, turn off in-game chat. Like you don't have to be involved in that way. Just sort of taking your stance. If you want to play video games, if you want to do this or do that, just freaking do it. And you're going to cop shit no matter what you do. Everyone's going to want to have their little opinion. So just sort of stand your ground, do what you want to do.
Well, you're not everyone's cup of tea. Like, no matter how good or bad or whatever the shit you say, no matter how fucking neutral it is, you're going to cop hate somewhere. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, my favorite quote is actually from Clean. If you're familiar with Clean playing Tarkov.
No.
Okay. Anyway, he's got content in Tarkov made because of him.
Okay. Very cool.
But a quote he said to me once is, "You could be the juiciest, most delicious peach, and some people just don't like peaches."
There it is. Well said.
Yep.
That's very true. Is that like graffitied on the wall in Tarkov as well somewhere?
I don't know. It should be. It should be.
Should be. Did you say that to you personally?
Yeah. We were having a deep conversation about people not liking people.
Does your boyfriend know about that? He's calling you a peach.
Oh.
You go. You go. He's gonna have a UAV on his fucking ass. Okay, bread coming inbound. Okay, he better be trouble. He better be fucking no. Okay.
Not in that way. No.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
He's calling you a peach. Yep. I call that. What do you guys think listening right now?
Respectful than that.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Shocking, mate. Shocking. There is some serious people that like do some terrible things to try pick up chicks in gaming, and I've seen it, and it's just like, what are you doing, mate? Like, how do you not have any sense of what you're saying right now to understand it? Because the issue right now is that with gaming, we're talking to a screen. And I've tried for this podcast and another podcast, like you try to get that real personal connection but without, mate, give you a handshake when you come and go and hand on the shoulder and whatnot. So for people, they sometimes don't understand the way of communicating with other humans online. And that's a big issue. It's a big issue because they just don't see what they say until it's too late, till they're done. Yeah. Until they're done.
Yeah, they don't think of it as the other person's a real person. But I think that's something that happens in real life as well. You become so sort of involved in your own life and what's happening that you forget that the other people in it aren't just NPCs. And I say this to my partner quite often. Like, I forget that he is a separate person to me. He's not just a figment of my imagination, and he feels exactly how I feel and like thinks exactly the same way I think. Like, it's something very interesting to sort of sit back and look at other people and think they have their own life. Like, that's mind-blowing to me. Like, when you actually stop and think about it, it's incredible. So it's so easy to forget that and just, not be very considerate.
Well, I think that we've become accustomed to this digital world that we're going into, and with this metaverse stuff coming in as well, we're not even going to have to leave our house to go shopping or to go see people or to go to sporting arenas, which is concerning because I don't mind going to the footy. I went not long ago. But it's just the world that is potentially coming is kind of frightening, and I do feel sorry for like our kids, whenever they come through in the next generations and whatever. And it's just like, holy shit, man! Good luck out there. Yeah. It's bad enough as is. Like girls right now, young girls cop it because they don't like someone else's photo, and they can't escape all the bullshit from primary school or high school even because it comes home with them on a little device called a phone, a smartphone, Android or Apple or whatever it is. And that's the big issue. Do you have any opinions about that type of stuff, like that, that bullying, or you've ever had any accounts of that type of stuff?
Yeah. School was not fun for me. So I definitely understand the whole social media being sort of a gateway for bullies to get at you where they're not supposed to be, like when you're at home, when you're trying to spend time with your family and stuff like that. But I think at the same time, there are so many pros to social media, but it's more just our emotional intelligence isn't really, like, in a general term, at the point where it would work with social media. Like when you're a kid, you're a kid, again, you think everyone else is an NPC. You're not taking into consideration that stuff. So social media is just this sort of medium for that. It's like, okay, well, I don't consider this person very highly anyway, but now I can bully them without even being there. So without even sort of getting the consequences of it. Like, I remember virtual bullying for me was very much like emails. I know. Some people listening to this podcast may not even know what emails are. No, I'm joking.
We're still on picture mail.
Yeah. I remember in primary school, this girl sent a photo of a mole rat or whatever it was to my mum's email, thinking it was my email, saying, "This is what you look like." And my mum ended up like calling her mum and being like, and she ended up having to come over to my house and apologize. But like, that's because everyone has like their own social media accounts now, and parents don't have as much access to it. It's so difficult for kids to sort of open up and talk about it. Like, I remember once social media came into like full on came into our lives and everything. I never spoke to my parents about what was happening at school. Like, I spoke to them about little bits, but like there was one time when this girl punched me in the face, and I ended up just completely covered in blood. And I went to the school nurse and got a new dress and just went home and acted as if nothing had happened. But then my teacher ended up calling mum and telling her. But like even with that, there's just that disconnect where you don't feel like you're as it's not as easy to tell people about it, because it seems like it shouldn't be a big deal because it's just text and stuff like that.
How important do you think it is for people to tell people when they're not feeling well, or if these things are happening? How important is it to you?
Very, very important. I know that a lot of people, especially like when they're in situations like that, they don't want to tell people that they know, because like it's embarrassing. Like a lot of the time you think, oh, this one shouldn't bother me, or two, like I should be able to stand up for myself, but it's not always that easy. So even just reaching out to a school counselor or a counselor in general, like once you're out of school, it's a little bit less accessible. But just having someone who doesn't know you to talk to is always nice, and then it makes it easier to then eventually open up to people who you do know. Yeah,
absolutely. It's very. I think it's pretty important. Like, look, myself, I've been pretty fortunate to never have any of those major issues. I did used to have it sometimes, like in the early days of high school. Some people would just like say, "Oh, you suck at footy," or just that stupid fucking boy stuff. I went to a boys' school, so it was just that stupid stuff. But then, you know, you make the ones and they still talk shit. Yeah, oh, you'll never be there. And you make the ones throughout the whole high school, and you're like, well, fuck you, you know, you little shit. Yeah. And they try out for the same. Just stupid shit like that. I think that's just general stuff that you kind of have to put up with and have thick skin about. But it's mainly like, I think it's so important for the people nowadays to try and become that headstrong about it, because at the moment there's a lot of like, oh, it's okay to, you know, to feel really upset and stuff, but then there's no real solution to it. It's just like, just feel sorry for yourself and stay there and take these meds. You've got to do something about it and be proactive as well. Which I think that a lot of people aren't being given that really good advice. Which is, it's just unfortunate, because it's a kind of like cycle that someone would go through, and they just get stuck in that whitewash of shit, and it's no good. And you got to really nip it on the bum when you're younger, so then it doesn't affect you later, because if you can't handle it, then it's just going to get worse when you've got more pressure with bills, and then you buy a house and you've got more bills, and you have kids and you've got kids, and you got work, and all those extra additional things, and it just all comes down. And that's why some people, they just take their life. They're like, fuck this, I can't handle it.
100%.
And go from there.
Yeah, no, it's really unfortunate, but I think it sort of boils down to emotional intelligence. I feel like it's good that they've got a lot of sort of access to education about mental health now, but I think I think they really need to teach a lot more about emotional intelligence at a young age, sort of reflecting not only on yourself but on other people, and noticing that other people aren't responsible for how you feel. Like, no matter what they're doing, like I love the quote where it's like, you have zero control over everything outside of your body. So why would you give someone the power to have control over what's inside of you? Yep. And like, it's not that easy, not at all. But like, I feel like emotional intelligence at a young age would definitely help people not necessarily avoid mental health problems, but recognize it and go, okay, I'm not feeling good at the moment, I need to reach out for help, or just self-reflection and stuff like that. That would be probably the best way to tackle it from my perspective.
Give it a good old tackle.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've got a question for you, back to the gaming stuff. Do you reckon that there's anything missing right now in the space, and is there anything that you think that could be added to the space?
Oh, Okay.
It's a big one. It's a big one.
That is a
In through the nostrils, out through the mouth, Britt. Breathe.
yeah. Well, what would your answer be to that?
You're swinging it back to me. You're giving me you're giving me a fucking forehand back.
Yeah.
I just served it to you, Britt, and you've got to answer that question. You can't be asking me a question with a goddamn question.
Why not?
Because I'm the host here, Britt. Okay, it's my show.
I know, but I just don't know.
Okay. You don't know. You don't know.
No.
Okay, what we're missing from the space, Britt? Let me put it to you. Okay, we're missing from the space in Australia from esports. We're missing communal support. So a lot of people won't get around other people's posts as much because they want to be the top dog. I understand that, that bit of rivalry to a degree. But if you talk about esport teams, when a team, for example, beats another team, most teams, they may not say GG's well played to and shout out the other team.
Oh,
so they'll never do that. And just support and building rivalry, right? There's a couple of teams right now, they have similar sponsors, but really what they should be doing is saying, well, you have, we'll say Red Bull, so the other team should be pursuing Monster Energy. Yeah. And you have, we'll say Gamer Grip, so the other team should be sponsoring the opposite of Gamer Grip. And you have Logitech, okay, we should be going for Aorus or Thermal Take and things like that. There needs to be that more rivalry in the space, so then it creates other external companies that want to be involved in the space, so then we can monetize a bit better and go from there. I think that's probably what we're missing. And look, the bullying, it's not super bad from what I've seen. It happens everywhere, and I know that it's probably not good to say that just like there's not much we can do about it. We can only kind of suppress it to a degree. But there's issues there, but I think it just comes down to like parents educating their kids about, hey, like, just be careful, don't say anything bad, because of the fact that if you see this person in real life, or you might be talking to people the way you talk to them online, and then you see them in real life or other people, and you talk to people like that, you're a very hard person to hire in the workspace, or your attitude shit, and it just affects you in different ways. So I think that's just my 2 cents about what's possibly missing. I don't know if that inspired some train of thought for yourself.
It did.
What do you have, Britt? What do you have, Britt? Here we go.
Thank you very much.
No worries. You've got the ball now.
Touching back on how you said other streamers not sort of supporting each other because they want to be the top dog. I have actually sort of watched this a lot with girls in the community. Like I feel like it's probably across girls and guys, but I've just noticed it more from myself. When I first started streaming and there were other female streamers, initially that would spark a bit of jealousy, and like this was before I sort of worked on my own emotional intelligence and tried to wean out as much toxicity as possible. But I sort of noticed that if there was another girl streamer who was doing well and sort of in the same area as myself, it would spark a bit of jealousy, and I'd be less inclined to follow and support her channel. And as soon as I recognized that I was doing that, I was like, whoa, this, like, that is so shit. That's such a shit mentality. And I feel like we just pitted against each other. And so like I've started trying to flip that on its head. And as soon as I see another girl in the community, I'm like, follow straight away, like, retweet, and just like trying to put out again that positive energy and not putting negative energy out, because once it's out there, you can't take that back. Like no matter how you put it out there, it's out, it's done. And you sort of then have to saturate that negative energy with positive energy. So it's best to just like start off with the good energy and just like supporting each other and not making it a rivalry, making it friendship.
Yep.
And stuff like that. Even if you don't know the other person very well. It is hard to get out of that mentality though, because I know a lot of people who were streaming years before I started, and my channel has progressed more than theirs. And I know people who have started streaming in the last couple months whose channels have just skyrocketed and are getting significantly more views and subscriptions than my own. And they're my friends as well. But that doesn't stop me from supporting them now. Before, I would feel jealous and I'd feel like, oh, well, I'm not going to raid them or share their posts because then that's just helping them be better than me. And that's not what it's about. So now I try to consciously just be like, no, it's all the same. It doesn't matter. Still raiding them, still helping, like not necessarily helping them, but supporting them in that sense.
You share that bit of love.
Hard. Yeah, it is hard to get out of that mentality though, especially if someone's been streaming for a lot less time than you and you feel like it's not fair because you've put in a lot of effort and they may have not put in as much effort, but that doesn't mean that they're any less worthy of that audience. Yeah.
Absolutely. I understand. I totally understand that as well. Like personally being around the space for about 5 years now.
Wow.
But I've seen a lot of people come and go. A lot of people come and go. I've just been sticking out. Recently I've personally just reduced the day from streaming because I just the passion is still there. I'm still doing it, but it's more the fact that I know that I need to start focusing a little bit externally from Twitch. Twitch just doesn't help you grow. I might even just do 2 streams a week because I'm like, well, I've got to use that the other time to focus on TikTok videos or something like that. We know how important it is. It's so fucking easy. And I'm jealous. I'm very jealous of the people that can just go live. And there's a few of them that are like full time or whatever they want to call themselves with 70 viewers or whatever. And all they do is just stream. And I'm like, how are you earning an income and relying on just Twitch? You've got to expand more. And you and I, we both work jobs and we both have to balance that delicate line. And we have partners as well. And family and friends that you also have to balance that line with. But it is frustrating, and I definitely have been there in those places, and you're just like, oh, whatever, I don't really give a shit. I've got a job outside this. It's what, it is what it is. And if they go well, then so be it. Our time may come, it may not come, but at the same time, if we go out with a bang, and people know that we were true to ourselves and we enjoyed ourselves and we enjoyed the people that we met throughout our journey as well.
100%. I think the hardest part though with Twitch, like for a while I was doing it full time. The hardest part with Twitch is that when your views fluctuate, you take it personally, and because like you MJ. See your viewers as your friends. Wait, who?
MJ, Michael Jordan.
Oh,
did you watch the documentary? So I took it personally. He always kept saying, I took it personally.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that, no.
And whenever you've got to watch The Last Dance, he's always saying, I took it personally. And whenever Jordan takes it personally, he always performed the best ever.
Oh, really?
You've got to watch that doco.
But I'll keep that in mind.
Britt took it personally. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Strap yourselves in.
Yeah. You ready for it? When your views fluctuate and your subs fluctuate and there's not as many people in chat, you do take it to heart. There we go. Instead of taking it personally, you take it to heart because like you think, oh, why am I not as likable anymore? Like that's what it seems like. It's like losing friends. But the worst part about it all is that it's not just you feel like you're losing friends, but you're losing income with that too.
Yep.
So not only are you upset because you feel like people aren't as interested in you anymore, you've gone from having a lot of people that seem eager to be in your stream to then leaving. You're like, oh, what am I doing wrong? And then you're losing money with it as well. It sort of triples the impact that it has on your mental health, and that's why so many streamers come in, they do well for a little bit, and then as soon as they start to fluctuate, which is a part of streaming, your views are always going to fluctuate, but sometimes it hits a little bit harder than it should, and people leave stream and they don't continue it. And I've experienced that because I ended up reaching partner and I didn't realize I'd reached it.
Oh, did you?
So no, I didn't even realize I'd reached it. So 3 weeks later I saw the notification and I was like, oh my gosh, awesome, this is great. And so I applied for, did the registration for partner, but my views had dropped since then because they fluctuate. And so I got a response saying, hey, unfortunately, we're about consistency. And at the moment, your channel's just not consistent enough, which, no, I totally understand.
Blah, 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 Twitch ANZ.
No, totally understand it. And so I was so bummed. And
do you know who my partner is? Do you know what he does? Okay, give it to me. Continue.
If only it worked that way. But no, it's like I see so many Twitch partners who have quite low viewerships, in the scheme of things, and it's it's insane how much it fluctuates and how much you do take it to heart. And yeah, I think that's why we see so many people come and go. Like I had someone in stream the other day as well, who has just started streaming, and they were being upset about the fact that, I don't have anyone viewing or anything. I'm like, mate, you've done 2 streams. I had no one in my stream for the first 5 streams. Yeah. Like it took me a while to even reach affiliate, and like at the time I was like, oh my gosh, affiliate is insane. But if I had the viewership that I had when I was affiliate right now, I'd be heartbroken.
Yep.
But at the time it was like, this is so cool. Like yeah. Yeah, it's crazy to see just how much it fluctuates. Some days I'll have like 70 odd viewers, and then some days I'll have 20 odd, and like it's dependent on games too. It's dependent on what I'm playing. Yeah.
Well, time zones. The other thing as well that people have to understand is that things do fluctuate, and that's why, like I've always said from the start, the only time I would quit my job would be if I made double per month or double my overall income consistently. Yeah. If I could do that, because then you account for those the dips and valleys and whatever. So then when you have the peaks, it makes up for it, and you can get through it and whatever. Especially like, you know, if you have a mortgage or you have to have repayments that you have to pay off, or your bills even, or you gotta fucking eat. You gotta eat, bro. Yeah. So if you can't afford to do that, then holy shit, man, you shouldn't be doing it. As good as it is, and it's easy. Just what do you do? Just go live and play games. Well, yeah, some people just do that, and I don't know how they get on. But they'll be short-lived. They will have no career in a couple of years' time, or a year's time, or however long it takes for that cash cow to go, for people to leave. Because you've got to divide yourself up into different platforms. You can't have all your eggs in one basket, and that's what Twitch is for some people as well. And that is I think that everyone knows how it works, but they sometimes just choose to look away because they can't be bothered, and that's the hard part about it. And so balancing all these things and whatnot is just part of trying to make it, or depending on what your make it standard is and whatnot. And it goes back to the conversation of how people find you're a threat to their stream if you want to do a collab. Like, all I want to do is just play some games with you. Great, let's play some games. I don't give a shit because I've got a job and it pays my bills. And if you don't want to play games with me because you think that I'm a threat, then you're a dickhead, bro. Or
exactly
or cis, right. Whatever. But like, it's just like, you know, we've got more to it. And it should be, well, okay, we'll let them do that. And if it's a streamer that, you know, not like a massive streamer, but if it's someone that sees interest in you and they want to help you grow, and you're nothing, but you just play because you click together, and then you're the come up from them, a byproduct of them, then that's credit to them as well. You know, it's just, they get credit for that as well. But it's quite the conversation. It is quite the conversation to have. Definitely.
Yeah. It's just an awkward conversation sometimes between people as well. Like being like, hey, I'm not trying to steal your views, but I just want a game. Like I have a few people who are quite big on Twitch that when I ask to game with them, I always ask to game with them off stream, because I don't want them to feel that way at all. Like I don't want it to seem like that's why I game with them. And especially because my sort of comms on social media are very hit and miss. I will reply sometimes instantly, and then sometimes I won't reply at all, because I'm just so like, especially like living away from family. I've had to explain this quite a few times to people on Instagram, because I get some people who get really upset that I either don't reply or reply quite late, which like, I don't really know the people who I'm talking to anyway. Like, it's like, you don't know me, I don't know you. Please don't. And I get so like anxious about it. I get really hung up on that, and it makes me really upset. And I need to sort of cut that tie. But I've had to explain to people, like, even if I'm on social media or on like any sort of messaging platform, I live on the opposite side of the country to my family, and the rest of my family live in other countries, and my friends live on the opposite side of the country. When I'm on social media, I'm messaging them, and I'm sifting through the multiple messages that I have from Twitch viewers and family and friends, and replying like little bits to as much as I can, while still maintaining friendships and keeping in touch with family. And it's sort of hard to tell people that without coming across as a dick. Like,
I know.
bro, I don't know you. Like,
yeah, I know.
I genuinely appreciate your messages. I appreciate the time that you take to go onto my profile and watch me on Twitch and stuff. But if you want to have a proper chat, please just jump on when I'm live, because that's the time that I dedicate to you guys. Like, that's 100% for you guys. Every other time is just like, I'm very quickly like, oh, I'll do one of the emote responses to this message. And then people get upset with it. Like, oh, I was trying to start a conversation. I'm like, you started the conversation by reacting to my story with an emote. That's not starting a conversation. Get stuffed.
Yeah, exactly. You know what sometimes I do? If I don't have time, but I feel like it's a little bit more personal, and people like it because it's very personal. But sometimes I'll voice record. And I'll quickly
That's a good idea.
10 seconds, how you doing, buddy? And then you just spill out what's going on and let them know about it, and then go from there. And then they might reply.
That's a good idea.
They might reply, and then you just double heart their thing, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know? And whatnot. Sorry, I'm out right now. I'll chat to you when I'm live next. Simple as that. But
that's a good idea.
I definitely feel that I know you way better from previously having this conversation. Prior to that, you know, I was new as a teammate and whatnot. But what is, because you're a girl and you get a lot of weird shit, I can imagine. Britt, you know what's coming. What is the weirdest DM you've got, mate?
My most memorable weird one. I get some weird shit, and I get some nasty, horrible shit. So I very rarely check my message requests.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate, because then it leaves a lot of people who are actually being kind in there. But I just can't stand going into requests sometimes. But my most memorable one was this lovely chap who was a part of my stream for a while, and then I get a message request. Actually, you know, I could probably... No, I'm not even going to try to look for it.
Just think about it.
Asking, hey, I really enjoy your stream, and I, hope to meet you one day at a gaming conference or something like that. And I was wondering, if I send you a jumper, could you sit on it for a week and fart on it as much as possible and send it back to me? I will pay you as much money as you want for it. Please, thank you. I hope you don't get offended by this.
That is the funniest fucking thing ever. What the fuck, man?
I'm not offended by it.
Whoa.
But, bro, that is... I don't kink shame. It's unusual. I haven't heard that before. I appreciate that he thought that highly of me, that he thought to ask me. But no, I just can't do that. Brad was like, you should give the jumper to me and I'll sit on it for a week. I was like, no, I couldn't. First of all, I couldn't agree to that in the first place, because I don't want that person thinking that I'm okay with that. And second of all, I couldn't lie to that person by doing that.
That's fair enough. Hey, but Britt, how much?
Yeah, $10,000.
Cheap, done.
Done. Oh, I literally opened the message and I was dumbfounded. I'd never heard anything like that. I'd been asked for used underwear before quite a few times, but nothing specifying farting. Yes. Yes,
right. Is there any more? Because this is so funny. I had Taylor Morgan on the other week, and she was talking about how they had someone doing a wedgie. Did you? I don't know if you listened about that episode, but
I saw some of the clips you popped on Instagram from her.
She had they had wedgie, and they were doing 69 or whatever, and they were moaning her name, and there was like a really big wedgie that they were.
My gosh!
Both completely naked, and anyway, they were doing a bit of that.
Interesting. Yeah, I've been sent videos of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jesus,
but Instagram, thankfully, they put a blur filter over it. So they put a blur filter over it, and then you can press press it twice to allow the blur to be removed. You can see what it is with the blur over it, which is great in the sense that you don't have to unblur it to see it.
Look at it. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Quite interesting. People are strange creatures.
Confident.
That's probably the best way to put it.
Very confident, Britt. Jesus Christ, man. That's fucking weird. They would have 100% asked for pictures of things as well.
Yeah.
Or can I have a foot pic? Can I have a nostril pic? Arm pic?
Can I have this? Can I have that?
And
Yeah.
pick. Bro, what the fuck is wrong
I
with
get
people?
so many people asking if I have an OnlyFans, which is totally understandable because it is a big part of the streaming community at the moment. But because I am a little rat bag, I put on my link tree an OnlyFans link, and when you click it, it rickrolls you. You get rickrolled immediately. It's fantastic.
You little troll, Brit. You little troll.
Yeah.
You know what you should do? You should link it. You should link it to your fucking PayPal so they pay you straight away, and then you get paid.
That's not a bad idea.
Link it to your PayPal, they pay, and they think that you're getting something. I guess that might be.
I couldn't do that.
Might be a bit fraud. Hey, you might get done for that.
I couldn't do that.
You might get done for that because you're not giving a service and they're paying for.
Yeah.
Don't do that, Brit. Just have it have it linked back to your Instagram to follow your page.
That's not a bad idea too, hey?
There we go. I like that. That's just fucked, man. So many people they do some fucking weird shit. Honestly, man.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. Sitting on a jump. Why a jumper? The fuck?
I don't know. Yeah, and they were specific. Like it was a hoodie. Sorry, because they were American, so they didn't say jumper. It was specifically a hoodie too, not just like a shirt or a piece of clothing. They were like, "Can I send you my hoodie?"
Yeah,
to
right.
sit on.
You know what it might have been? It might have been a bait though, as well, that they get your address.
True.
Yeah.
Though I do have a PO box now, so I can avoid that.
There we go.
Yeah.
But for someone that has a PO box and you're always moving, how do you?
So I only just set it up.
Okay.
And it's not a PO, but a parcel locker, so it's free, thankfully.
Yep. Parcel locker for free. You can just like apply for one, and they just drop it in that spot, and they tell you when. Really? Is that like any post office, or how's that work?
So it's with a post office. You just sign up. It's awesome. It's pretty much like a PO box, but
so it's called parcel locker.
Yeah. Keep that in mind because I think parcel locker you can't use as an address, like a home address, but PO box you can. That's why there's the difference. Maybe, I don't know.
Yep.
But I don't think I've been sent anything yet. I think I'm supposed to get a notification if I do get sent anything. But I told everyone as soon as I put it out, I was like, here it is, guys. You've been asking for it for ages. You send me underwear, I will kill you.
Yep. There's going to be someone that if you're doing an unboxing, there's going to be someone. If you guys want to send me jumpers, let me know. We can definitely get some stuff sorted. and
send
go
me
from
some
there.
hoodies.
Yeah, send me some hoodies, guys. Send me some hoodies.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
No. It does worry me a little bit. I definitely won't be opening them live. I'd probably film myself opening them, but not live.
I reckon live you get for a chick, dude. There's so much shit that chicks don't do, but if you did that, you play Tarkov and then guys, we're doing an unboxing, mate. And you do that stuff live as well. Holy shit, you'd pop off, Brit.
So dangerous. I don't know.
I reckon you pre-open them. You have you swipe it open with a knife and then have a look and then.
That's what I was thinking. Or get Brad to open them or something. So I still don't know what's in them.
Yeah, you could do that.
Because then I'm not lying about it being an unboxing.
True. But we wouldn't know. It's just between you, myself, and the people listening to this podcast right now.
Exactly
and then
right.
Now forget about it, okay? It's all good. Yeah. You just get it pre-opened. Happy days. You get it approved by B Rad Lad. And then happy days, man. Happy days.
Yeah, exactly right. That could work.
Britt, is there anything else that you want to talk about before we come to a close at the end of the podcast?
No, I think you've covered all bases.
We punch it out. I've just started recently doing the longer form podcast because I used to do them for like 35 to 45 minutes. So I'd be wrapping people up in the middle of a conversation. It sucks.
Oh no.
Yeah. So all those people, like a couple of athletes and whatever, I had to wrap them up. But I think they're busy anyway. But the longer form is definitely better because then it means you get your story out and whatnot. But I think we've covered everything with you, Britt. And going from there, it's been a good conversation.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Nah, no worries. Is this your first podcast?
The first podcast that I've been a guest on, yes.
Oh, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen. And where can everyone find you on the socials?
So on Instagram, I just to keep it interesting and difficult to search, the Qaekz, so TheQaekz, but just Qaekz everywhere else.
Okay, and that's Qaekz with a Q, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's requesting hoodies.
Shit.
Just follows. But all her links will be in the description down below, guys. Brit's already said a closing comment. Any closing comments before we wrap it up, Brit?
Just keep putting positive vibes out there, guys. Don't be
Let's
dicks.
go. Let's go, baby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for tuning into the podcast. Once again, if you guys want to sponsor the podcast, slide into my DMs at JackoGFreak. This podcast can be found at JackoGFreak on YouTube with the visuals, as well as on iTunes, Spotify, and anywhere else for your audio platforms. Make sure to leave a rating as well. Thumbs up in the video. And let me know who you want on next week. Until then, remember to be safe, stay small, and as always, boom, baby. Peace.